say, one step when you leave the house without wearing a hijab is equal to one step of your father's feet closer to hell. Is that true? Some say that the sins of a daughter who has reached puberty are borne by her father, while the sins of a married woman are borne by her husband. This sentence is often used to make women feel that they are not entitled to determine their own steps and decisions, because someone else will bear the consequences of her actions, either the father or the husband. Well, actually, what is the Quran guidance on this matter? In the Quran, Surah Fatir, verse 18, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And no bearer of burdens will bear the burdens of another, and if a heavily laden soul calls another to carry some of its load, nothing of it will be carried, even if he should be a close relative." If we refer to the Quran, it becomes clear that a father does not bear the sins of his daughter, and a husband does not bear the sins of his wife. So everyone, men and women, are responsible for their own actions in the face of Allah. There are several interesting stories in the Quran regarding the sins of the children and the sins of the wife. First, in the story of Noah and his disobedient son, that written in the Quran, Surah Hud, verses 40 to 47, we know that Noah did not bear the sins of his son. Noah's son was tormented by the flash flood, while Noah was saved. Second, from the story of Prophet Lut, written in the Quran, Surah Tahrim, verse 10, that even though his wife was disobedient, but Prophet Lut did not bear the sins due to his wife's actions. In the narration itself, it is even clearly stated that the Prophet Lut was a pious person, while his wife was a disobedient person. If the husband is the bearer of the wife's sin, then surely the Prophet Lut will also become disobedient. Parents have obligations as a parent for their children. One of them is educating their children. So parents can also sin if they do not carry out their obligations. But of course, this sin is due to the actions of the parents themselves, not because the abundance of sins from their children. The firmness of the Quran in giving responsibility for every act to the individual who does it and cannot be transferred to other. This is also can be described so that parents can't force their opinions to their children who are already baligh, and the husband cannot force his wife on the excuse that the husband will bear the sins of his wife. No matter how hard we want to change other people, but the right given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only control over ourselves. So we could do more of a self-introspection rather than judging others. But what if we also want to protect our children and our partner? As a parents and partners, of course, we also want to make our children and partners better. But giving advice should not be forced. Advice is the love, not the force that will let alone hurt. It was thanks to Allah's mercy that you were gentle to them. Had you been cruel or hard-hearted, they would have certainly abandoned you. Quran, Surah Ali Imran, verse 159. Then, what about the hadith that went viral on social media that said, if a woman leaves the house without covering their aura, equals one step of her father and husband to hell? Sadly, the hadith is a fake hadith. No reference was found. It has no sanad, and there is no path of narrations that reaches Rasulullah, peace be upon him, so it cannot be used as a reference. So, in your opinion, what is the wisdom behind the Quran affirmations that each person's bear their own deeds? Let's share in the comments, Kalam.